So, welcome Tanya to the Women's Stories. I am elated to have you on this podcast, and I am really looking forward to dig deep into Eat My News and how have you been working towards achieving bigger and better goals. So, a warm welcome to you.
Thank you for having me.
So, my first question for you is like I'm very curious to know how did you coin the name of your biz, like Eat My News?
Yeah, so of course, when I was in the process of naming it, as you do it, you come up with lots and lots of names, but then it it's a little hard to kind of narrow down on one. But then suddenly this came to my head, and there was also, of course, a logic behind it. But one of the reasons was that it's so catchy, and everybody who's ever heard of this name has never forgotten it. So I think that's why I realized it's a very powerful and a catchy name, and more so because eat my news because like we eat our food every day, right? It's so essential. So it was also about how important reading content is for people. So that's why it fit in well.
That absolutely, it's a catchy name. I've observed that news readers are so fluent and have prompt speaking skills. Like you must have seen, like anchors and news readers on the TV, and your profession is something similar to that, especially when you are hosting interviews on YouTube channel. So, as a news reader, how did you inculcated these skills into yourself?
I feel that we often see it on television or on YouTube, and we find certain people speak really well. But it, again, nothing ever happens overnight. It comes with tons of practice. I also started my speaking journey back in college. I wasn't good at all. I was also very, very nervous. I had a speaking class also in, I think, in my post graduation. There was some subject known as public speaking. So I remember going to my teacher and telling her that every time I have to speak publicly, my heart starts pounding. How do I deal with it? So I think these are the kind of inertias everybody really has to go through. But then I just didn't stop. I took every opportunity, which is how I don't even remember how many talks have I given by now. I have no count of it. So I've jumped and hopped to every speaking opportunity. So a lot of practice is needed, uh, accompanied by a lot of understanding of communication skills, for which you really have to it's communication is a subject just like any other, right? Like you dive deep into a science or a mathematics. Similarly, it's very important to understand communication as a subject also, which is why I started training people on it. And if it's accompanied by good knowledge that you have of different subjects, because you could be a great speaker and you could know what to say when, in terms of communication skills in general. But when you're talking, if you don't have enough subject matter depth, then that is always going to reflect. But that's always a work in progress. Nobody is perfect. So you keep reading, keep studying, and then the inner confidence is what reflects on screen as confidence which other people see.
Yeah, so like research and taking every opportunity in your way is the key to
Yeah,
build confidence
most
over time.
important, take every opportunity.
Yeah,
Even if you have to go and speak at your own community hall, go do it. Because the more you will speak, the better you will keep becoming.
sure. I mean, I feel so happy to interview you because I can completely relate with your story at so many points.
Lovely.
So, like, what was the whole idea behind building a business around digital news? Our audience would love to know your journey as an account executive to the founder of Eat My News.
Yeah, so when I was doing my graduation, so in college, I entered, I was as confused like everybody else, as intimidated like everybody else, saw and always thought that other people were smarter than me. They were achieving more than I was. And I think this is a part of always my personality. I really, really get inspired by looking at the great work that other people are doing, and I have so much appreciation for people who are doing great. So it happened with me, and I started reading a lot. I started taking up a lot of internships, being a part of youth communities, and it really helped me to also get admission in St. Xavier's for studying PR and corporate communication. And yeah, and then when I was there, the only next step for me was to take up a job. Because I really did think at that point of time that I really wanted to do PR, and I was very, very convinced. But when I started doing my job, I wasn't very happy because I felt like I was being put in a box all the time. I felt the Indian corporate culture does not help you thrive so much. There's so much you can do in an organization, and specifically when you're really starting out. And I would always remember that as a child, I've always been a free bird. I've done what I liked. I wanted to read. I wanted to do different things. So all of it was always constantly coming back to me. And I knew that I wanted to do this for other people, and I wanted to start a media platform. So, rest is history. That's how the whole inception of Eat My News came to being.
Now, like you have built a community of 5,000 plus loyal readers, and I'm sure it might not be a smooth journey. So, what were the important steps you took at an initial level to lay a strong foundation for this community?
Okay, so firstly, this 5,000 people are, you could call them loyal readers, but I like to call them as members. These are people who have actually worked in Eat My News. The readership numbers are much bigger now. So yeah, these are the people who are who've been an active part of the community, and of course, most of them are EMN alumnus now. Lots and lots of people have worked, and I think the foundation would. I've always really valued human relationships. I've always really valued personal growth, and for me, it was very important for me to initially specifically make only those people join in who really believe in the vision that one day every person will be positively inspired, informed, and intelligent. So anybody who aligned to it joined, and I'm forever grateful to every individual's contribution to the growth of this community. And I've really tried my best. Of course, I have not been able to interact so deeply with everybody, but I've definitely tried my best that everybody gets a good experience. Everybody learns something new, they grow, they become leaders. I strongly believe in leading people is okay, but I think caring for people is most important. When you care for people, and when you generally root for their success, I think that's how I base my foundation for leading a team. So I think that's all that I did.
That's incredible. Your TEDx talk, you told how being financially, in your first TEDx talk. So
Yeah.
you told how being financially independent can ignite self-confidence in a person. So I would be pleased if you may throw more light on this statement in reference to your own journey.
Sure. Firstly, I feel that the times that we're living in now are really changing. Okay. I have a lot of respect for homemakers who choose to be at home and, take care of the house. And this was a norm, specifically in our mothers and the grandmothers' generation. So that's absolutely fine because that's how things were. But now I think most of the girls um, are getting access to education. Of course, I'm not going to go deep into the rural India, and of course, the situation is still very dire there. But let's talk about metropolitan cities where you and I live. Um, Both men and women go to the same school, and then they do college also, and it really breaks my heart when a lot of women after college, they either don't take up a career and choose to just be homemakers, not because it's any less of work, but I feel that a new society that we need to, uh, the new society that we need to live in has to be where men and women coexist with equal responsibilities. I feel if we continue to do the same thing as women, then the generations after us are going to suffer. And I feel so many girls have so much potential. I feel that it's not just in terms of you leading a life where you're really you're spending your time well and you're also making money, so you don't really depend on your father or your parents or your spouse for money. You're financially independent, you can take care of your own needs. God forbid if you have to go through a divorce or any dire circumstance in the future, you'll always feel capable of standing up on your own feet. So that is there. But also at the same time is, if women start contributing more to the economy, the global economy is going to become a lot better. And I feel women are so smart. They need to be leaders. As you said right before this, right? I feel women are more empathetic. I feel they have so much more, they're more emotionally intelligent, and there's so many qualities. They're smart, they're analytical, they're excellent leaders. They are hardworking, they are persevering, they're nurturing. So there's so many qualities that women possess which are going to be a huge, huge asset to a team. Women are ambitious, and I really, really look up to women who are so ambitious, and they really, really deeply inspire me. So I feel that this generation of women must take up some form of work, and house responsibilities should ideally be divided between both men and women so that we can bring about a change for the future generations.
I feel so happy to hear that. This was the exact thing maybe I wanted to hear from your mouth, because the ultimate aim of the women's stories is this only, is to bridge the gap, the existing gap, especially in a developing country like India. So it's just a start to something big, and I hope that women like you would support me in the coming future and would just help me to take this podcast into greater heights. And thanks a lot for putting your genuine opinion. So, how will you summarize the evolution of managing your business from the day it was launched and to this day?
Oh, it has changed leaps and bounds. I always wanted to start a mobile app which is for short news. That's what the initial idea was. It never happened because I outsourced my tech. I wasn't very tech savvy. I didn't really understand. So it took a really long time to build that. It was built, but I mean, I couldn't really launch it because of some roadblocks. So it kind of kept evolving from there, and then I just knew I took a couple of years after that just to build a strong community, because I felt that anything that I do, my community is going to be the foundation for that. And the website came to being very recently. Now I'm doing a lot of stuff on YouTube. I'm passionate about politics of the country. I love reading about current affairs, being aware. So I'm doing lots and lots of YouTube videos explaining the politics of different states to people and talking about lots and lots of important issues. So I'm thoroughly enjoying this. So it's really, really evolved, yes. And I hope it continues to do so as new
Absolutely.
opportunities keep coming to being. Yeah.
I recently saw some of your videos on YouTube, especially. I just love the video where you are explaining the evolution of Singapore. How did the country became rich in a very short period of time? So thanks for putting this wisdom nuggets out on an
Yeah,
online
yeah.
platform.
In fact, I'm doing all my videos in Hindi now so that more and
Yeah,
more people can also
that's
understand.
incredible.
Yeah.
That will for sure cover a larger audience, because Hindi is the major language that is being spoken in a country.
Yeah.
So, like, what are the prominent changes you wish the Indian news industry could bring to their system? Because you must be knowing when you read a lot of news, and I think you must be consuming a lot of news daily. So, there is a lot of politics and there is a lot of irrelevant news that is going inside the system. So, what are the prominent changes that you wish you had in the Indian news industry?
See, you spoke about the irrelevant news and frivolous news. As much
Mm-hmm.
as we'd all love to see it go away, but unfortunately, for a lot of people, this becomes their guilty pleasure. It's just like I think people don't like to. Sometimes they just want to watch light-hearted content, or people watch this earlier. People used to watch a lot of TikTok videos. People like to watch reels. People like to watch what's happening in celebrities' lives. So because there is a heavy consumption of such kind of a content, which is why it's being created, because you end up getting lots and lots of clicks on that. So that is there. Another change that I really feel that it should be there in Indian media. And again, media is a very vast paced, right?
Yeah.
There's television, there's print, there's digital, there's everything. But like, if I had to talk about one change, I'd just like to say that I really wish that we were beyond ideological battle. Sometimes objectivity from a lot of content is lost because of uh, biases of owners of that media house. There's left lineage, right lineage. I feel that people really have forgotten to look at issues objectively. If you are on the other side, you're gonna always criticize the other side, and vice versa. I just feel I recently put a post on my Instagram which said that sometimes history divides us more than present ever can. So we're still carrying those historical notions and it still continues to divide us. So I really wish to see this change. I mean, and I've sort of done it in EMN because EMN's a voice of people. It's an absolutely a platform which is completely unfiltered and people are about to put in their opinion, whatever it may be. We do post a lot about politics, and a lot of times when I read content on the website, I don't agree with a lot of stuff. I may have a completely different opinion about it, but that's fine because that's the author's viewpoint. So I try and put in a lot of diversity there. Even if you look at our Instagram, I always encourage the team to put up news that other platforms are not really putting up. So we put up a lot of things beyond celebrity weddings. We put up lots of, I mean, a lot of our readers come back and say that you're putting in a lot of intelligent content because that's what a vision is, right? We hope that the world's going to be more inspired, informed, and intelligent. So that's one fundamental change that I'd like to see in the media. But as long as the consumption is going to be there, as long as we like to bang our heads with each other over political fighting, it's okay.
Even I got to know something new from your Instagram channel. Like I just read Alia Bhatt has launched her new production house named Sunshine Production House, and that's incredible. Yeah, it's not the monotonous celebrity content that is revolving. It is something new, and it I think it must be motivating more girls and young women, who must be consuming your content. And secondly, I completely agree that it's okay to have different opinion, but respecting others is our prime duty.
Yeah.
Your opinion, how young minds who have a natural interest in news reading could monetize their skills over time with the help of digitalization?
Yeah, I think why digitalization is so important to create a website. It's so easy to have a blog. If you don't want to have a website, you can do YouTube now. You can, if you like to do video content, if you like to speak on camera, go ahead and do that. If you don't do animated videos, there is again Instagram. You can create news there. So I think the platforms are really dime a dozen, and all that you have to focus on is put out good content. And I feel it'll be great if somebody could really source out, begin with just sourcing out their local issues and putting out stories ground up. instead of, just kind of replicating what's happening. So again, you can find your own niche, and there's a lot that you can do in today's time. You don't need money exactly or huge funds to be able to start anything.
As you said, you can make animations and you can make small snippets. That's a new idea, and I hope that this particular answer could help as many young minds as it could. Are there any internship opportunities at Eat My News for enthusiastic learners, and how they may apply for the same?
Yeah, of course, you can always become a member. You can go to the website. There is a form called Board of Young Leaders Program. You access it from the web. Otherwise, you're always most welcome to even reach out to us on Instagram, reach out to us on our email, on digital@eatmynews.com. So anywhere, we'll send you the form. If you don't find, you'll find it on the website easily.
Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot for this information, because I think it's necessary when you work, it's necessary to work with someone who is well informed, because that's when you get the right guidance. And I consider you as the right person to guide young minds, especially in the news of digital media, in the era of digital media.
Thank you, Kushi.
Last, lastly, my question for you is like, what is the bigger purpose you are heading through Eat My News? What are your long-term plans with your business?
Well, the long-term plans are going to be to grow the media. I hope to reach a lot more people, whether it's through my website. We're doing lots of international interviews. I hope to be able to create an international news platform or a website based out of India with a lot more people, and constantly evolving our content, bringing in lots and lots of quality interviews, and bringing in amazing people from across the world to share their stories. On YouTube, I'm working more on Indian content right now, because that's a passion of mine, to be able to really educate people about different issues. So that's the plan, Kushi, to be able to really grow the media, do what we're doing, and keep doing it even better.
That's so beautiful, and I'm really looking forward to see Eat My News at that level. And thanks again for accepting my invitation. And also, I just wanted to inform our audience that this was the first episode of the Women's Stories. I mean, for the season 2 that was recorded with you. So many congratulations to both of us. And thanks again for accepting my invitation.
You're welcome, and all the very best for your season 2, and many more milestones to you. Thank you for having me.